Rudy Giuliani's mugshot. Here it is. From a RICO prosecutor to a RICO defendant, from America's mayor to what you see on your screen. And we're going to leave it up so you can take it in tonight, because this is new. This is a legal precedent. This is a rarity. You can see defendant Giuliani looking fairly stern. This is a new mugshot we got today. He was released on a $150,000 bond. The DA, Fani Willis, charged Giuliani with 13 counts that includes RICO, false statements, solicitation of a violation of oath by a public officer, and the conspiracy to commit forgery. What we're seeing right now tonight, and we're going to go through it together with our experts, marks the ultimate visualization as well as a defenestration of former prosecutor Giuliani. I just showed you his mugshot, and I'll show it to you again if you want to let it sink in. Right now, we are looking at the scene right outside the jail where he, under likely rejecting advice of counsel, or what would be the traditional advice, he decided to speak out publicly. So that's him coming out of the booking shot you just saw. He was booked on the very RICO charges he used to bring against defendants. And speaking out here, and we have even more on this later this hour, I want to show you briefly some of what he said before surrendering, arguing that because he is a lawyer, he basically should not be booked in the photo you see and not be charged.
They're destroying my right to counsel, my right to be a lawyer. They're destroying his right to counsel. It's not accidental that they've indicted all his lawyers.
It is true that prosecutors and the grand jury found evidence of crimes by these lawyers, including the now newly booked defendant Giuliani you see on your screen. Serving as a lawyer is no defense to the charges Mr. Giuliani faces. In fact, two defendants who know that quite well are Mr. Giuliani and Trump. They have infamously been involved in schemes where lawyers try to use and allegedly abuse their status in the bar, their role, their privilege to commit conspiracies. They are legally presumed innocent. But to run back after trying to hide behind your bar license and your legal privilege and claim that somehow this booking that you see on your screen, this mugshot, is itself the injustice, is at a minimum rich. Prosecutors say they have the evidence that defendant Giuliani and others committed crimes and that they will prove it in court. After his booking, Giuliani was seen entering what you see right here in this aerial shot, again, brand new tonight, second chance bail bonds in Atlanta. Today, 9 Trump RICO co-defendants have now turned themselves in. You can see who has been booked here on your screen, and you can see we have tried to update accurately some of their standard photos with these new booking photos. You can see that through the logos and the shots of who's marked booked. Here's RICO defendant John Eastman, the coup architect and lawyer, now one of the indicted RICO defendants who lined up at the Fulton County Jail to be booked. Here's the mugshot for another Trump lawyer, Kenneth Chesebro. He spent months on plots to overthrow the election. He wrote down the elector fraud plot as early as November. We have that evidence. He wanted to overthrow President-elect Biden's win in December. He showed up at the Capitol on January 6th, now booked on a $100,000 bond. Lawyer Sidney Powell also surrendered today. This is her new mugshot. She's indicted for her repeated documented schemes to breach voting machines. She even entered into a business agreement, a contract written down with a company in Georgia that ultimately now stands accused of tampering with electronic ballots. Chesebro, Eastman, and Powell are all also unindicted co-conspirators in the federal case. So what you're seeing right now, I want to be clear with you, are their new mugshots in the Georgia case for some of the same underlying conduct and accusations. They might see later federal charges. There's Trump veteran Jenna Ellis, booked late today. You can see her smiling in her mugshot. She spent the weeks after the election falsely claiming that Trump actually won in a, quote, landslide. As a former top official of the whole state party, David Schaefer, indicted on RICO charges, he attempted to claim falsely in a state that Biden won that he was actually a rightful Trump elector. There are plenty of people in prison right now for voting fraud convictions that are smaller than that. He also seems to be smiling in the new mugshot, but he does blame Trump for the plot. He says he was acting at Trump's orders. That's why he's in this new mugshot tonight. Other defendants have until Friday to surrender. 9 have turned themselves in. Here are what we count as some of the most pivotal leaders of the alleged RICO conspiracy. Donald Trump slated to turn himself in tomorrow, but as you can see, several of them we've updated with the mugshots are now booked. As promised, I want to bring in James Carville, someone who knows politics, and I mean it as no knock on your experience, that you've lived some history, sir. You've lived through many different moments. I thought of you tonight. I'm so glad you agreed to come. Not for all the legalese. Nick and others are getting us through that, and we got that. But the moment of these mugshots, I want to put back up Giuliani and some of the other ones. I've been careful to say, James, that they are legally presumed innocent. Nothing about the mugshot convicts them. But a grand jury of their peers, prosecutors in more than one jurisdiction now have said there's overwhelming evidence. That's why they're at least arrested. What does this mean, James, in the body politic in America for people to see this process play out and see it with their eyes?
You know, it's kind of unimaginable. I actually went to law school. I couldn't imagine Dean Hebert, who was my dean, having a mugshot. You know, you think back when you went to law school.
Yeah.
And John Eastman, who's a law school dean, is, you know, allegedly not convicted. To be very careful about that. But it's almost humorous that any law student thinks that their dean being a part of some alleged criminal conspiracy. But you know, it's historic, and there's a lot of trials and a lot of legalese coming forward, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
What do you think of communicating the facts? That's something that good, effective political communicators do well. There are also those who lie and cheat, and that's some of these lies are accused of. I mean, some of the lies are documented. Giuliani clearly lied. He admitted to that, by the way, when he had to under pressure in a different case. He tried to then walk that back today. Again, I want to be very clear with viewers. He lied about his lies today. That's what some communicators do. A good communicator, though, works with the facts, at least I would argue. And so I'm curious what you think about the fact of these mugshots, the facts that are coming out in this process for Americans who may be busy, may not be paying attention. And then in August, they wake up and see this. In September, they come back from Labor Day and they see this and they learn some facts.
Well, I think most of the country's kind of made up their mind about this. I can't imagine that this moves the Trump base very much. I mean, nothing has moved them so far. I do think this, in terms of communications or a trial, if they get Giuliani talking about Michelle Moss and her mother, I think it was Ruby Freeman, that's going to be bad for the defense. That's going to be really bad for the defense. And the implications of that are going to be huge. But, I know a lot of people in Atlanta, and I am told that they have some talented prosecutors in Fulton County, and they're going to be put to the test. Much more than that, I don't have any particular insight.